Did you see the event today outside the White House with Trump and Elon Musk and all the Teslas?
No.
Okay. So Trump said yesterday that he was gonna buy a Tesla today.
Okay.
So they brought a
Does he
bunch of
drive?
Tesla. I don't think so. They brought
Why
up
would he?
what's the over under on the last time Donald Trump drove a motor vehicle?
I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
imagine it.
say
I imagine it.
on a highway.
Oh my God. 50 years.
Right. I'm going the over under because he's 78. I'm saying it's
Yeah.
at least 40 years. At
Yeah.
least. And it might be ever. Like he
Right.
may have never
But why
driven
would
a
you?
vehicle. But so look, there's a lot of things to talk about here. On the one hand, the prospect of the president of the United States standing beside the richest
Richest
person
man.
in the
For
world
now.
at the White House and promoting in no uncertain terms that person's vehicles
Right.
is not, I think, a positive development for America. Could you imagine if Joe Biden brought the CEO of Ford to the White House, lined up Fords outside, and said, "I'm going to buy a Ford. You should too." Like that is, I mean, that's kind of like corruption out in the open. However,
Corruption's a strong word, but
okay,
okay.
right, maybe not corruption. That is, I don't even know what the right word is. It's inappropriate. On
Right.
the one hand.
Inappropriate is probably better.
On the other hand, I will say the positive from it, if you're looking at kind of the net gain and net positive, as unseemly as I think it was, the early adapters who were driving electric vehicles, in particular Teslas, were mostly liberals. Like out here, when I first
Oh
moved out here
yeah.
in 2019, before Elon Musk made his kind of heel turn, he that Teslas were everywhere.
Oh yeah.
I had almost in my life prior to that point, I had probably seen 5 Teslas on the road in my life prior to 2019, living in Texas, Missouri, Pennsylvania. Out here, 2019, 2020, 2021, they were everywhere. You
Everywhere,
would
yeah.
see 10 a day just in my Santa Monica neighborhood. I don't even drive that much. But so these are not conservatives for the most part buying, right? But what has happened now, and the reason Trump did this is because of Musk's active role in supporting Trump, getting him elected. Now with DOGE, some of the crazy shit and conspiracy theories he said online, liberals are attacking him online and boycotting Tesla. They're saying don't buy Teslas. Sheryl Crow made a video the other day of selling her Tesla back. It's become like a thing on the left,
Yeah.
and Tesla stock is crashing.
Well, this is why businesses should not be in politics.
Right. So it is crushing Musk to be involved with government. Now, I would say he's kind of made that bed. Nobody forced him to do this. And it's not just that he got involved, it's that he got involved in such a partisan, nasty way.
Oh yeah.
He
And he's
didn't have
firing
to go
everyone.
down that road. Right. So I look, you get what is coming to you, right? As Musk would say, fuck around and find out. I mean, he said that before. Well, that's what's happened. And so Trump is trying to prop up his business and help him because Tesla's getting killed right now. Their stock price is down, I think 30% this year. It's crazy.
Has politics ever affected your decision in buying anything?
Me personally,
Yeah.
no. But let me finish this point real quick.
Go ahead.
But so here's the positive of what happened today, even though I generally don't like it. We need to move toward electric vehicles much more quickly. We need a better adaptation to that in order to help save the planet, right? We are not getting there fast enough. And that is partially because a large number of people will not buy electric vehicles, even though they have started to become much more affordable for a larger number of people. And if Trump and Musk together can convince conservatives and Republicans to buy electric vehicles, then even though it was kind of unseemly at the White House today, it will actually be a net gain for the country because it would help get us there quicker to that transition. Because these liberals that are giving up their Teslas, they're still buying electric vehicles. They're just getting other brands now, right?
Right.
So because it's a lot of electric vehicle purchase. Of course, it's economic. We all know there's obviously an economic threshold, a minimum you have to be at. But once you're beyond that, a lot of it is just preference and culture.
Right.
And there's a cultural stigma in a lot of red America against electric vehicles. And so if this can help overcome that, because look, Trump's in one, right? Trump's buying one. That could be a good thing. So that's kind of my mixed feelings on it. But anyway, what was your thought about the
Well,
boycott?
I didn't offer that offhanded. I was like really thinking about it because I'm sure politics at some point played a decision in a purchase or something I bought or something I did. But I mean, I drive a Mercedes. They made vehicles for Nazis. Like I wasn't, I didn't consider that when I was buying it. I was like, well,
Right, that's all in the past.
well, you get what I'm saying, though, is if we start
Yes.
applying like what happened and all these things and what they believe and what they don't, it's going to be interesting. It's why I was always so bored about the Colin Kaepernick thing in the NFL or the Keurig machines. I don't even remember. I just remember my profile picture was a Keurig machine at one point because something happened. People were smashing them over
Yeah.
politics. I don't know. Like, look, Chick-fil-A, they maybe are not the biggest fans of homosexuals. They make a great chicken sandwich. You know what I'm saying? And
We've got to balance these things.
yeah, so obviously there is a real world effect on Elon Musk. And it's why Michael Jordan said when he was asked why he doesn't take political stances, he said Republicans buy sneakers too.
Yes.
So everything you said, I agree with. Musk made his own bed. He's got a lie in it. I was thinking the other day, what is Musk really getting out of this? Like, as a gain? I know what Trump gets out of it, but I don't understand what Elon gets out of it.
Okay. If you are being, let me give you the argument if you are not a fan of Musk. Here's what he's getting. The government is involved in his businesses, and his businesses are involved with government in many different ways.
Yeah.
SpaceX alone has hundreds of billions of dollars in contracts with the federal government. I have not heard DOGE recommending any of those be cut, right? Now, that maybe they wouldn't be cut anyway. I want to be clear. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those contracts. I think SpaceX is a wonderful company. I think they're doing amazing things, and I hope they get human beings to Mars. I think that's a great company. I think he's done amazing things with Tesla. But there are multiple investigations involving Tesla, for instance. There are investigations involving things at SpaceX that were not done above board necessarily, that the government agencies were looking into.
Yeah.
It's unlikely, because they're so close, that Trump and his administration are going to crack down on his companies in any way. So
Probably
that
not.
is what he's getting. He is getting a loose hand of regulation, and he is going to get the benefit of the doubt on every call involving his companies as long as he is involved with the administration. So that is what he is getting. But what is he giving up? Well, he's giving up a massive amount of personal wealth.
Yes.
Because the Tesla stock is down now. It's its steepest loss in 5 years over the last couple of days. He's lost hundreds of billions or $100 billion in net worth, just his own personal net worth.
$100 billion?
Yeah. So that is a lot of money that he has lost. A lot of money because of what has happened with Netflix.
He lost $23 billion on Monday.
Right. So he's lost $100 billion in value.
$52 billion since the year started and $100 billion overall.
That's a lot of money.
I mean, in fairness, he still has like $400 billion. So I hope he's okay.
He's got more. He'll be all right. Right. And that's the point too, is yes. And remember, as you talked about earlier with your, when you were kind of explaining the market, these are unrealized gains.
Yeah.
So this is a loss on paper.
Right.
Nobody's going into
right. They don't go to his bank account and take it out.
Draining $100 billion. He's losing it on paper, which if his company is successful in the future, in the way that I wouldn't bet against him, he'll probably make that back up at some point. So you're saying, why would he do this? That's the argument, because to him, it's worth it.
No, I just never asked the question. That's
no, I do think to be fair to him, whether you agree or disagree with him, I think he genuinely does believe that the government is bloated and inefficient and that we have a long-term debt crisis in America. And I agree with him on all those things. I don't necessarily agree with the way that he's going about this. And I'm glad he's been reined in to some degree over the last few weeks by cabinet secretaries, by Congress to some degree. And I hope that continues, because I don't agree with the way he's doing it. But generally, the principle of we need to do something dramatic with our federal budget, including on the spending side, I am 100% with him on that. Now, the way he's behaved on X, the things he said, the outrageous conspiracy theories he's embraced and spread, the cesspool that X has become. To me, that is the damage of Elon Musk that goes far beyond DOGE. Whatever you think about DOGE, many of those cuts will eventually have to be approved by Congress.
Yeah.
And if there's a Democrat in charge in a few years, those things can be that are worth it reinstated. It hurts people in the short term. I want to be clear on that. I don't want to minimize that. The people that have lost their jobs, especially if they're good people and they should not have been let go, the programs that are good that have been shut down, which I think they've kind of thrown the baby out with the bathwater. I think they've gotten rid of some programs that probably should have been gone, but some that shouldn't. Those things will cause real world damage. I don't want to minimize that. But my point is, you can undo on a large governmental level those things over time. But the damage to our politics, to our discourse, because X is, let's face it, it's not the biggest social media platform. It's definitely not the most profitable social media platform. But in terms of its influence on culture and politics, I would say it is probably the most impactful social media program, social media app. And it has become, in large degree, awful. And a lot of that is just simply because of Musk and what he's done.
Yeah, I never go on it.
And like just a small example. Yeah, 2 days ago, Mark Kelly, who served his country in the military and then served his country again as an astronaut, now a senator, went to Ukraine, reported back about how we need to support Ukraine, basically saying the same thing that most decent Americans have said since the war started. Ukraine's being attacked by Russia. We should help them out. It's good for us. And Musk just responded to his X post and called him a traitor. I'm like, what is wrong with you, dude? So look, to get back to what you said earlier, would I boycott Musk? I don't have an electric car. I do want to get one in my next car. I'll tell you this. I normally would never boycott anybody or any company because of their personal political opinions. But in this case, if it were close, I probably wouldn't buy a Tesla. And I'm about as reasonable a guy as you can get. I'm not someone out there in the resistance protesting in the streets. I just think he has done so much damage because it's not that he supported Trump. Fine, you support Trump, whatever. It's that he has embraced so many awful, crazy points of view, conspiracy theories, this anti-Ukraine sentiment, all of it. I just think he's gone so far. He's gotten into the range of what you talked about when you asked me earlier, would I boycott?
All right.
I might on this because I think it's gotten so extreme with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long he'll last. I mean, do you think he's going to make it through a 4-year term doing this? I highly doubt it. Because when you have that much money and things aren't going well, like, what's it for Musk to just walk away?
Well, also, where are the Tesla shareholders? Like, at a certain point, I mean, yeah, I know he founded the company and he's the CEO, and I guess he has control of the board right now. But, I mean, at a certain point, if you are a board member of Tesla, this is happening all over the world.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
I'm not familiar with the inner workings of
I
their
don't
board
know.
makeup. I don't know.
Maybe the board is just so loyal to him that
maybe he has all 14 of his kids on it, so he just has an overwhelming majority. I don't know.
Even the newborns, they have a voting share or something.
Yeah.
But I would think if there is a board that has some neutrality, like at a certain point, you just can't. You can't. This is one of the Magnificent Seven, as they call them, and of American companies. This is like one of our crown jewel companies in the United States of America, and to lose that much value is pretty bad. It's pretty bad, especially when it looks like it's not going to go away for him. He originally said 18 months. What he said, that he'd do it for 18 months. But we'll see. I mean, if you look at what happened over the last few weeks, he went to Congress and Congress said, let us vote on this. There's a thing called rescission where Congress can vote, just a simple majority in the House and Senate, to pull back money. And they said, if you find cuts, bring them to us. We'll vote on rescission, which I totally support. That's the way it should be done. Congress has the power of the purse. Musk should be looking at things and he should be identifying what he feels is waste, fraud, and abuse or just money we shouldn't be spending, then bring it to Congress. And then there was a report of the New York Times that in a cabinet meeting last week, Rubio, the Secretary of State, and Musk got into it. They were yelling at each other because Musk didn't think Rubio had done enough. And Trump basically said, look, the cabinet secretaries are in charge of hiring and firing, not Musk. Again, great move. I totally support that. I wish those two things had been more clear at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right, of the administration, but I'm glad we're getting there.